Well, south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some fucking songs. Rank them songs gonna and rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
No, it's fuck. Why? Why did you have to show Andrew that song? And
why'd you have to pick a band that sounds like them?
No, they don't. They sound like they are definitely a child of the 80s because they throw synth in that as much as possible. And you gave him the perfect ammo to use yummy afterwards. So whenever you're like, oh, I want to get that sound out of my mouth. Nope, it's just there.
Yummy.
You
I gave a little Barry Manilow in between.
So are you done with your? Is that week's over for you?
That just started. No,
it's just starting. Punishment time, baby. All right, guys, welcome back to Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I basically looked at Rolling Stone magazine's top 500 songs of all time and went, we can do that better. And I don't know if we have, to be completely honest with you. However, I'm going to say that our top 200 is definitely better. Cody has come here as the voice of the people, letting us know if we have decided to pick bullshit on our list, and we'll correct that if that's the case. He's got 5 more vetoes, and I believe 4 more switches.
Yep.
Yeah. I still have a veto as well. So if there's something that I look at and go, maybe this didn't belong to the list at all, I get to swap that out for something else. Spoiler alert, for me, not happening today. Because this list, I think this section of the list are some certified fucking bangers.
This list is all the ways you can handle a breakup.
This is true.
There's 5 or 6 songs that are like, oh, you can handle it this way. You can handle it this way. Or you can go a completely fucking different direction.
Cody, any quick thoughts before we pop into this section of the list?
Not really. I said I think the last time I was on the last episode is I think this list has a lot of songs that I'm a big fan of, so I'm going to enjoy that. There's some that I'm like, oh, whatever, but I don't think there's anything I could see me vetoing with the change probably made before the show.
Yeah,
that thing it could have changed. But,
all right, well. We'll get to that when we get to that. But let's start with the song that is at 170 on our overall list right now. Mr. Brightside by The Killers. So I was watching... I had this song playing in the background when I was kind of just goofing off on my phone. And every single video that popped up as this song was playing over it, I was like... This is the perfect song to be playing over this video right now. And it was a bunch of different bullshit. So, this song is so good, it fits almost any moment. Though that glimmering guitar that opens it up, and then you get the, rolling percussion in the back. And Brandon Flowers' vocals on here are just fucking perfect. The energy behind this song is incredible. I got asked to do this at a live band karaoke thing, and I was like, all right, cool. And the place went fucking bananas. I don't know what else to say other than that this song is killer.
Nice. This is definitely one of the songs that tackles the breakup, but this definitely tackles it in the paranoia aspect, especially when you get into the now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick. And it's kind of the jealousy or the enviness of it, because if it gets into in the big kind of chorus, touching his chest now, he takes off her dress, now let me go. I just can't look, it's killing me. But then you get this especially getting to hear this live too. I think the synth is used in just the right amount, where it's just kind of holding that one chord, and especially when you get into that like taking control line, that's when the drums really sort of build up in this. I'm surprised that this is one of the ones that we got like almost smack dab in the middle.
It's one of the closest ones for us.
Yeah, and this is getting almost meme to death. Like people are starting to riff on this because the melody is so popular. But I think that's also like a positive note for it. So
it's one of those songs that for some reason every year it reappears on like the British Billboard Hot 100. Like it's like an annual thing now. It just keeps reappearing on that goddamn list. Cody, this was a good point for your memory, your nostalgia. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, one of the greatest like Christian bands of all time. Like, I mean, look at their lyrics. Like, it's been known. Like, a lot of people believe they're a Christian band. With Creed, but especially listening to the lyrics of the song, like it makes sense. Anyway, this song has now a special spot because of one Tim Berkala. We once sat at a Red Robin, and the song played, and he sung it at everybody. And it was like best friends at first sight, our first lyric. I love the song. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think it is a perfect like time capsule of that time of music. Like a lot of bands around that time, but I think this one like rises above that. So much fun to hear, and as soon as it like this is like a great group song. Like if you're like at a party or something, like this can just be like a group where everybody's jumping, not dancing, and screaming Mr. Brightside. So like that's a perfect song. Well done. 280, yeah. I could even see it going a little higher, to be honest with you, but it's for my pick. But 170 makes sense, so I like that. So we're on a good start today.
I honestly, Brooklyn, I think this is the best start we've ever had on this show.
Probably.
It can only get better from here.
Hopefully, let's see. Let's go to 169. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. I had it lower, so I'll start here. Yeah, that Isley Brothers sample is so good. That I think they sampled Footsteps in the Dark. That could like that oily guitar line and the bass. It's just such a perfect sample. And then the thing about this song that really shines is the lyricism. Like this is one of the best storytelling songs you will ever hear. Literally all it is about this one really good day in a really bad part of the country. And just like the simple things about that day, like getting a triple double, like going to play basketball with some friends, eating a fat burger. And there's like some grandiosity things on there, like seeing the Goodyear pimp, the blimp, and it reads Ice Cube is a pimp. The dope ass fucking line. Yeah, and then what I also really love is the end. The end where basically he goes, "What the fuck am I talking about?" Just really just bringing you back down to earth. It's such a great little moment and one of the best songs of all time.
Yeah, how they're able to kind of use that sample. I like the little like trickle from the guitar in the end. I find that gives you kind of like a sense of relief, and then allows you to kind of go back to the start of the loop, and it makes it all feel better. I get kind of a different sense maybe from like the opening verse, because what I got from it was like, oh, like things aren't as good as they seem. Like you get like the like no barking from the dog, no smog, and mama cooked the breakfast with no hog. It's like, oh, like things seem off, but you know what? Like despite all that, like today is going to be a good day. Yeah.
Cody, what are your thoughts on It Was a Good Day?
I'm going to be honest with you. From this week, this is the first time I ever heard the song. It didn't like. Yeah, it maybe like bits and pieces, but not like the full song ever. I enjoyed it for the most part. I don't know if it would be like in a normal routine for me, but overall, definitely understand. It's like, yeah, it's catchy. It has like great lyrics throughout it, so I get that all that stuff. It was just, you know, not my favorite thing on the list, but overall I respect it. I think like 303, 300 if you're going to put it. But again, I think some of these songs need those representations on the list. Like they might not be the most well known song, but they definitely need the sight. And Ice Cube has like some great songs. So some people especially think he's just an actor. Like, and forget like how great he actually was at rap. So yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to 168, then one of our bigger separations, but not the biggest one we're going to be talking about today. A Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum. Once again, I had it at lower, so I'm going to talk about it first. That I think it's Bach interpolation. That organ,
I think so.
That's incredible. That just is some of the most beautiful music in itself. And then just like the imagery created in this song is so vivid, and the way that he's just delivering the vocals, just like those notes he's hitting in the chorus, holy God, he just sounds fantastic. This is a song that got as high as it did for me based on atmosphere and mood and delivery alone. Like this is such a great piece if you're like just sitting in like at the dusk of the day. It's an amazing piece.
Who'd have thunk that you could take basically the same elements from Let It Be and have it be like this big sort of like anthem of a song? Like you have the same kind of like Ringo feel drums, but then like you were saying, Andrew, like that big organ comes in at the chorus. And then and you get the "and so it was later" as the miller told his tale. I just think there's a calmness, I guess, kind of throughout it, and I think that's through the tone of the keys, whatever that may be. I think 113 is a little bit high, given how much it does sound kind of like Let It Be. 449 I think is a little bit too low, maybe in like the high 300s, because it is an incredible song. But yeah.
Cody, what did you think of this one? This is another one where I can totally see you never having heard this one until recently.
Yeah, I definitely haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the song. I'm terrible at this. This sounds very familiar, like another song. I actually know
like
the
White
song,
Satin,
maybe, but it's the song at the beginning of Happy Gilmore. When he's like doing the odd jobs and like doing the stuff, there's a song that plays over. It may not be like the same lyrics or whatever, but it has like that same like tone, like sound, like lyric. That's just when it first I'm like, is this a song? But that might be a more popular song. I'm not really sure. It really affected my brain a lot. There's a lot of words in this song, but mainly the artist that I didn't know how to pronounce that all weekend, so that was questionable. But I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was good. I think it gets a little bit like a lullaby, like you're gonna go to sleep.
got it.
Like it can put you to sleep. I think it's a very like calming song, kind of. Besides the lyrics alone, just the how it's put together. So, yeah. But if anybody knows that Happy Gilmore song, let me know. It's at the beginning of it. I just can't remember it offhand, but that's what I'm thinking. 113, crazy. What you like is what you like. There's no denying it. But 113, come on, buddy.
I think what I've learned is that if you have like this rich, luscious atmosphere with these big swelling like strings and organs and stuff like that, immediately bullseye. So that's probably why it's up there for
Had
me.
bar written all over it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to 167. Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs.
The
Brooklyn, you
wrestler?
had this one higher.
Yeah, I'm a.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with my taste, I'm a sucker for instrumentals, and like I think obviously hearing this in the Sandlot, as young as I was, kind of cemented its spot on the list. Just that like the little bit of the hi hat, and then like the light piano that comes in, and then you have like the little bit of guitar that's kind of like just giving like the bend and kind of like the stank, I guess, as you might say, and then you have like after they go through that main sort of like chorus, I guess what you would say in the song, and then you have the other keys that come in, and there's definitely like there's a chorus effect or something, or like they're added in a little bit forward in the mix to kind of give that sense of like, oh, this would be like the lead vocals of the melody, which I think is a cool thing about instrumentals is that you can have that like that sense of arrangement, I guess in the band, like it isn't all just like one kind of piece. But yeah, like when I think of like sleazy kind of like nightclub bar songs, this is the pinnacle, and I think this is what everyone kind of aspires to be.
There's a lot of ease in this song, or this piece, I should say, which I really appreciate a lot. That bass line is fantastic. It's the keyboard though. The keyboard really pulls everything together in like a nice little bow, especially when it starts to like flutter a little bit. But yeah, this doesn't really give skis to me. This gives more of like, like an 82-degree day. This is like the Sandlot, actually. The Sandlot, I think, captures the tone of this song perfectly. It's a really simple piece. It's like that bass line, the groove, and all that. It's very pleasant to listen to, and it's just really well controlled and really well pieced together. Cody, I know you've seen The Sandlot. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you guys have been on this. How many episodes have we done? This is episode 17.
17.
You know how I feel fully about instrumental anything. Not the biggest fan. Almost wrecked my car when it came on because I was like, wait, this is the Sandlot, isn't it? Wait, what? So I knew that instantly. Didn't almost wreck my car, but I was like, what the fuck? Why is the Sandlot playing?
Are we at number 3 for like times you almost like drove the car off?
Oh yeah, and the sad thing is, if you saw my route home from work, no reason to ever drive off the road.
What if I said to do Ron?
Oh no, that's a bad idea. That brings back PTSD. Listen, I don't get it. Like, I think it's cool, but I think it's very repetitive for me. Does not even come close to matching the brilliance and deliciousness of a green onion. For me, nothing's not one top tier onion. And less, I expected more Spinaroonie, with Booker T in the title, and there was zero Spinaroonie. So
that's fair. See,
all right.
Are you going to argue green onions right now?
Well, green onions are more of a garnish, though. Like if we're talking if we're talking like onions on their own, it's red onions in a salad, or like pickled red onions to throw on like a pulled pork sandwich.
Green onions won in like Asian cuisine. Fire.
Absolutely, yeah.
Second, green onions and loaded mashed potatoes, next level.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they're garnish. They don't add like a ton of flavor.
Red onions in a salad?
Oh, he's right about that. Fire.
Absolutely. My regular Subway order is rotisserie chicken, double meat, red onions, and then literally fill the bowl with spinach. And if you can throw a little bit more in there, add more spinach. Honey mustard, house sauce, salt, pepper. That's it.
Okay, you lost me on honey mustard.
What?
But hey, catch us on our spin-off show.
Like 100 subs.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I do have a show to pitch you guys after the show. Remind me.
All right. But for those watching, let's move on to the next song, number 166. I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. I have this higher.
Definite breakup right here.
This is arguably the greatest disco song ever made. Like, that groove is incredible. The way Gloria Gaynor throws herself into these lyrics, oh, beautiful. This is another one of those songs like Cody had with I'm watching him right now. This is like Cody had that moment with Tim with Mr. Brightside. I had this moment with my friends. Just like at some random bar, we just started like delivering the lines of this song as dialogue. Amazing. The lines are like so memorable in this. It took all I had just not to fall apart. Like this song just hits. And the build is phenomenal. I love it. It's just like how at the beginning it's just Gloria. And then you like at the end, it's just like those awesome drums, that bass line, the strings. I'm just like, oh, I'm fumbling over myself just talking about how good this song is. Brooklyn, what are your why should this be on the list?
My name is Brooklyn Vale. I have this song Too Low on my list. Why I had it at 407 was because whenever you had the conversation of best disco songs, like this was always there. It was always in a conversation, and it got almost like a "Don't Stop Believing" kind of treatment, where it got played nonstop, and I think that kind of took away from the story that she was trying to tell. And when you have this song in a vacuum, especially in that first verse in particular, you really get a sense of what a piece of shit this other person was. Like spent so many nights singing "How You Did Me Wrong," and then like I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face.
That line,
and it's just like
perfect.
There is such like a power to it. Like Lizzo is obviously inspired by this, and like Taylor Swift, like among others. I think the great part where everything really kind of like lets off is that string solo after like the second chorus, and it's like you're almost jamming along to that. Obviously you're not like making the fiddle motion, but you're like humming along with it as well. It's one of those, it's not as much, but similar to like Pumped Up Kicks, where it's like this very like uplifting disco song, but it's talking about like how despite the hardship, like you will survive. As boy, as long as I know how to love, I'll know I'll stay alive. And it's just like it's such a cool song.
Cody, I saw you bobbing and grooving down there. Yeah, you go ahead, gush about this.
Listen, arguably one of the best moments in any sports film ever is "I Will Survive" from The Replacements. And the amount of times that I was in a bar or somebody walks in the door and you just start singing the lyrics to them. It just works so well every time. And I just love the lyrics. Like, I knew I should have changed those locks. I should have made you leave your keys if I just... Yeah, and then it's like, weren't you the one that tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? And it just swells. It's so much fun. It is like such like, especially at the time, like a kind of like a woman like empowerment song, because you'd hear like heartbreak songs about like wanting the man back or missing him or getting them to try to call you, and she's like, "Bye, bitch, get out of here." Like I have no desire to like listen to anything you have to say. So
a friend of mine called this the greatest fuck off song ever made.
Like you just when like it's so good, like lyrics, and it has like that disco twang, but it still plays like in like as soon as I click play, like I've said numerous times, once you guys start talking, like I let the song play a little bit just to get in that mindset again. And just like you just can't help but like if you put this in a group of people and there's people sitting still, I just don't trust that person as a human being. Like I just don't. Like there's something about it that just makes you at least bob something on your body. Perfect. So great choice, guys. 149 maybe a little high, but overall, I'm okay with in that 200 range. I think it's a fire song, and for this many years later, still to resonate and still be one. When you said greatest disco song, I was like, but I don't disagree with you. Like overall, like because I think the problem with a lot of disco songs is they're so tacky or so like set in that time frame. This one transcends it. It just has that disco.
It doesn't have like a lot of the dated words in disco.
You just don't feel like you would ever do this, or like I don't feel like I have to bust this move out to this song. So that's good. Yeah. That's an automatic disco check.
Like there's a big separation between like this song and like "Staying Alive." I think that's
correct. 100%. "Staying Alive" is probably like
disco song. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our next song, which is going to be 165. "No Scrubs" by TLC. Brooklyn, you had this one higher. You will be starting us off.
This is your 149. I love it.
Yeah, I love this song. This album is incredible. Appearances by Busta Rhymes and Andre 3000 on it. Just crazy, sexy, cool, fucking unreal record. But the intro of it, and then how they kind of arrange everything, because you have that guitar at the start, and it's just like the four little notes or whatever. And I think it's an effective use of like the 808 drum beat, and then I like the effect that they have on the strings, because it's almost like they're like turning the volume up on it like partway through, so it has that like natural kind of swell to it. And I think that was really, really effective. And it was obviously like a trend for the 90s at the time. But then you get into like we're kind of talking about how "I Will Survive" is a great fuck you song. This is the fuckboy song. Like the chorus itself, like, "I don't want no scrub. And scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me," hanging out the side of the passenger side of like he's not even in his own car. He's in his buddy's car trying to get a holler. Like that's how much of like a sleaze that he is. He's bumming off of everybody, just trying to get this one thing. But yeah, and then like you get into the bridge as well, and you have that you hear the kick drum, and it's like they have that 3 beat come in, and that's a way to kind of like almost kind of reset you back into it. But man, like such a great song. Will be a 90s staple for sure. No, I don't think I can say it's top 10 90s. But yeah, 150 I think is a pretty good average.
The thing I actually love the most about this is the harmonies between the members of TLC. Yeah, it doesn't really have that rap verse for Left Eye on here, but I would say this is TLC's best song. Like their chemistry on this it just comes together so incredibly well, and their voices just sound so angelic. I like a lot of the production elements on here. As you said, the guitar is great, the kick drum. The reason it's so low on mine is that there are a few production choices that stick out to me in a way that I don't love. Like there's this weird sound in the background that sounds like popping, but it's just like it's just a weird choice that takes me out the moment that I discovered that. But great song, fantastic melody, really good instrumentation, and incredible vocals on this. And yeah, lyrically, absolutely super descriptive. Most of these guys could just like leave, just leave, get out right now, to quote JoJo. Cody, this is another one. I see you down there, bobbing your head.
Yeah. Maybe like late 90s, like overall, I was always TLC over Destiny's Child. I think TLC is just absolutely one of the best like female. I think it was tragically like Left Eye like was taken, so it kind of like ruined the group, like dismantled the group at that point. Which I think is just so sad because I think they're just so like good. The
record company absolutely fucking them over.
Well, yeah,
every record company fucking over an artist or band, impossible. That never happens.
every record label from there on. But like, I think a song can get like a little repetitive. But for me, I have so much fun with it. I don't care about that. But I also just love those lines where it's just like you're walking, you don't have a car, you're walking, and it's just like, yes, son, I'm talking to you. You still live with it home with your mama. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's just like that's who I'm referring to. You want to get with me with no money? Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's just such like awesome. Like Waterfall, I think if you pulled probably would get the nod of like the most known song from them overall, but like this is an absolute classic. I could not agree more. Great song. And this is like before the breakup. Like, I'm not dating that scumbag, you know?
Don't even talk to me.
Yeah, like we're not going to even start the talking phase because you're a scrub. So, no, thank you.
All right. Let's move on then to number 164 on our list. Rock Lobster by the B-52s. Look, is this song stupid? Hell yeah, it's stupid. But they kind of lean into they lean into that though. They lean into the camp and the cheesiness and the stupidness, but they're doing it with so much fun. But that guitar line is so good. I wish I could remember the name of their guitarist because he passed away way too soon. That guy was honestly, I think that guy was the anchor of the B-52s. Cause you hear do 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 and
Ricky Wilson?
What's that?
Ricky Wilson, I believe is his name.
I believe that's correct. Yeah. But yeah, like you hear that and immediately it gets lodged in your head. Fred Schneider's got one of those voices that's so weird, but it's like so perfect, especially when balanced out against the women in the group. It's a long song if you're listening to the album version, which I actually prefer. I prefer the album version.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because you get more of those crazy like animal sounds in it, which to me is the piece that I kind of love the most. It is batshit insane, but it is just so much fucking fun. And I think I told this the last time we talked about this song, but I need to talk about it again one more time before we move on to you, Brooklyn. Apparently, this is the song that inspired John Lennon to get back into the recording studio. He apparently heard this song on a vacation, turned to Yoko Ono, and went, "They're ready for us again." So, on the list just for that.
Yeah, I would definitely understand if this wasn't a Cody song. This leans heavy into like the 60s psychedelics, but I think it also lends to the genre that they're in of like surfer rock. And like I said it before, Keith Strickland is a self-taught guitar player, and it kind of fits to that because when you think of like Miserlou, and that iconic theme, it's in the same. And it's in the same mode, I guess you would say, like it's in the key of whatever key it is, but it uses the same like drops or whatever, or it goes into the same progression. So you have like these like off descents that I think kind of fit to it and whatnot. I think what a lot of people forget about is the ending. And just how batshit insane it goes, because like I think with a lot of people like our generation and even some like Gen Zers, they hear that opening riff and they go to like the Family Guy moment, and because like they use that moment like quite heavily, but they're just like they're going full on at the end, like just chugging, and then you have like the little like this little falsetto of like the like Rock Lobster, and then she hits like the really high notes or whatever, and it's just it's crazy. But then you get into like the Most in the Ocean part, and then you have that call and answer of like the ooh and I think it just kind of fits like the vibe there. I think there might be a little bit of a message in like one of the verses, like we were at the beach, everybody had matching towels, somebody went under something, and then they saw a rock, but it wasn't a rock. I feel like that might be leading into something more. I'm going to look into that, though. You're muted. Everybody take a drink. Andrew's muted.
God damn it. Just real quick, I do want to shout out Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson, the two female vocalists. I feel bad because I always forget their names, but like the two of them really are like super important members of this group. So Cody, this is one that I don't know if it's up your alley, but I hope you at least appreciate it.
Nope. I'm actually apologizing to the people. Once I hit play, I was like, crap, and then you guys started talking about it, so I couldn't use my veto at that point because it's just because you talk too much about it. So
No, you still can if you want.
No,
okay.
I'm going to leave it because you guys gushed about it. We're not going to do this. I need to have my veto ready. I forgot about this song because this song sucks. I wish I was on 60 Psychedelics when I listened to this song because holy shit, this song sucks. I do not understand. Yeah. And you know what? No wonder John Lennon and Yoko and his crazy asses listened to this and said, let's get back in the studio, because that would be the song that gets those two crazy people to back in. So, no, absolutely not a fan of this one, but you know what? You two crazy bastards makes perfect sense why you like this song. So, and to have it so close to each other. Weird.
I need to ask, Cody, what are your thoughts on Love Shack?
Oh, fun when I was hammered. I don't think I would ever listen to it like non-hammered. Like, it just, I don't know. It's so like I always think of like your drunk uncle at a party. Like this is a song that he's like and like does all the motions to. It's like when the old people like start dancing at the party. Like I'm out. Like I just have bad taste. Like it's like when somebody brings over ambrosia salad for like a cookout, and you're like, you couldn't make potatoes. You couldn't make anything like any other salad. You made okay.
Ambrosia salad only second to Waldorf salad as the worst possible salad.
Lose Aunt Debbie's phone number on the next like event because this is terrible.
All right, let's move on to the song that is the biggest gap on our respective lists to make the overall list.
Like overall, the entire thing, this is the biggest gap.
Biggest gap. Number 163. Mama Tried by Merle Haggard. All right, Brooklyn, you go first.
Correct. One of you are correct. One of you are definitely wrong.
Yeah. I'm more curious as to why. I'd love to hear whenever Andrew has this at 49. But this song's fucking incredible. When you go into like that opening guitar lick, the little slide guitar, and at the end the kind of accents that ending of it, and then Merle Haggard's voice just like very soft and like given the subject matter of it, like it's a very like uplifting kind of song, but it's like the opening lyric of the chorus, I turned 21 in prison doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. And then you get into the second verse of it. And the second verse of it, I think, just gives so much context, and it's like so sad because it's about his dad dying early on, and how his mom is trying to take on the load of it all. And because of that, she isn't really able to stay on with her son. And you know, like she tried her best, but like he ended up being there, and like the harmonies in it, the little guitar solo in between. This is a very like in and out song. I like, let's see, how long is this song actually? I think it's less than 3 minutes. It is.
It's like 2:20.
It's 2 minutes and 14 seconds. And I think that's like one of the benefits of like these earlier songs is that they knew how much say they had on the radio. So they're like, let's just like have this one catchy riff, tell a little bit of a story, and then just get the fuck out.
And I think that's the problem. And I think for me, that's the problem, is that I think it's too short. Like, oh God, I'm already dead anyway. It's just like, if only we had the thing that was like, hey, Cody, you can pick who had the better choosing on this, and then we could have a bet for that. Oh wow! Well, what would have happened with songs like Mr. Brightside, where they were like only 2 apart from each other? Nothing would have happened. So yes, this is a great song. It is incredibly deserving of being on the list. I will admit I do have it a little too low, but I still probably wouldn't put it over the 400s. Merle Haggard is like his voice is perfect on this song. That rich baritone of his is just like great. And there's like an underlying sorrow in his vocals that I think just carries across so perfectly well. For me personally, it is the length of the song because for some reason, once the song's over, it doesn't. It's not one that I remember automatically. I have to like literally see it in front of me to be like, oh yeah, that's a fantastic song. That's a personal thing. I will admit that. So Cody, just take the ice pick and just like stab it into the back of my head already.
Arguably, like top 20 country song of all time for me. Mama Tried. I believe like this song and like Fancy by Reba McEntire would play like perfect movies. Because like if you build it up like a mom and a son's relationship and her doing everything she possibly can to give him a relationship, but every chance he gets, he just can't do it because he was built for something else. A strained father. Call the movie Mama Tried. Perfect. It's just basically like she did everything she could. The dad was given like dad put her in an unreal spot, all this stuff, and then still he turned 21 in prison doing life without parole. No one could steer him right, but Mama Tried. The start of the song and how it ends, I agree with you. Well, the one thing I will agree with you, I wish the song was longer, but after a man's facing 21 years to life, there's not a whole lot of story left to go on this story. Because I think you could do like his prison sentence, his mom showing up, those things. But like, I think it's his voice is absolutely incredible. And this song plays so well for me. So Brooklyn would be 100% wrong. And if it was too close, so like if it was in within 10 numbers, it's a tie. No one gets a point. No one moves on. That's how you would have solved that one. Bye.
Oh well.
Didn't want to get your revenge. Didn't want to let Brooklyn get his revenge. You put your foot on his throat and just shut the door.
You know, I would have given you so much Sharon, Lois, and Bram.
Also, Cody, funny you mentioned Fancy. That's a cover. The Reba McEntire version's a cover, and we're going to talk about the person who sang that song originally a little later in this episode.
Yeah, but the Queen did it better. So.
Shania Twain didn't do that cover. What are you talking about?
Okay. Shania Twain couldn't lace Reba McEntire's boots.
Get the fuck out of here. Shania Twain is Queen. Hold on. Shania Twain. Reba McEntire didn't make that don't impress me much.
Shania's from Canada.
And talking about companies making big moves as well. dropping USADA. Watch for roided out UFC fighters come January 2024.
All right, let's get this train back on the tracks. Number 162 on the overall list is "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston. Brooklyn.
Okay, I want to actually go to Cody on this first because I want to ask him about something. Because a couple episodes ago, we were talking about Bizarre Love Triangle, and he was like, "Fuck the synth. It's the worst thing on here." This song is heavy on the synth. Where does it differentiate?
Okay, that's an interesting point. So there's a few things. One, if you really think I know what synth really is, I don't. I don't like it in certain things. I like it in other things. Okay.
I know it when I don't like it.
Listen, it's a great backpedal, 100%. But here's my viewpoint. I like hot fudge on ice cream, but I don't want hot fudge on, salmon.
Okay, that's
so.
Fair.
At this point in time, Whitney Houston doing "I Want to Dance with Somebody" is automatically. It's honestly kind of a weird situation too, because it's also I think one of these songs that I can put on for any generation. Like, my kids love this song. Like, me and my wife love this song. Like, probably her parents love this. Like, it just transcends. Her voice is so much fun. It's like such a carefree song. It's just, and she's just crazy. Her vocal is just insane. Like, there's just, I don't know many like anybody even comes close. Like when I think of best female vocalist, like there are people I like more and have more songs. But when I think of like pure talent, I just don't know if the conversation's even close. Like she just breaks everything, and this is one of them that just even when she doesn't do like a ballad and just has fun with a song, she still kills it. So yeah.
So I'll go real quick. Oh wait, no, Brooklyn, you go because you have it high.
Yeah, I've talked about it before on how Whitney kind of encapsulates both ends of the spectrum. She has like the really powerful ballad, but then she also has stuff like this where it's just very like it's saturated, I guess you would say, in its sound. There's a lot of effect add onto it, but I think that kind of works for the song. I feel like if it hasn't already been used already in like a jukebox musical, you could use this as like the kind of the I Want song, like especially to get to that part of like I need a man to take a chance, and then you get like that big release in the chorus, especially when you get into the key change, and then she's like putting extra emphasis on the notes. Just like I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody who loves me. And I just think there's a great kind of sing along quality to it. It's weird seeing this at 350 for you, Andrew, knowing how much you love the 80s and how hard I am on the 80s. So yeah, what puts us in at 350 for you?
Well, first of all, I want to backpedal a little bit after the last time I talked about this song. Last time I talked about this song, I said the production was just a little too much. It was a little too over the top. That's the point. That's the point. Of course it's over the top. This is like kind of like the most romantic plea, and it's like, of course it's over the top. Especially the the one guy in the mix that just goes dance. I fucking love that touch now. But yeah, I think I think it's just like the correct synth choice. Like I think the setting on the synth is just the right setting. It's infectious, it's sunshiny, it's got a good positive energy to it. It's just a really fun song. I found myself enjoying this so much more than the last time we had talked about this song. So that's my thoughts on it.
I do play the part. Dance. It's the best part. Dance. Don't you want to dance?
I just imagine him. Fun. Just imagine him flexing as he says it. Just dance.
He does it different ways. Just dance.
Yeah.
Dance. Yeah, he has fun with it.
Dance.
Hey, I need you for one word. What do you need, Whitney? I need you to grunt dance into at this point. I'm on it. Just a bodyguard outside. It's just a bodyguard outside the studio. Just dance.
It does really sound like it's just some bodyguard. Just say dance into this. Dance. All right. All right. Moving on to 161. Moving on to the person who we alluded to earlier, the original singer of Fancy. Ode to Billie Joe by Bobbie Gentry. I had this one higher. This is another one of those songs where the storytelling is just perfect. There's like a layer of mystery shrouding the entire thing, and it never gets explained at the end, which I kind of really liked about that because it leaves you with like this little uncomfortable cliffhanger. Like, what were she and Billie Joe throwing over the bridge? Why did Billie Joe go over the Tallahatchie Bridge? Like, what was going on? And everyone, the best element of this, I think, is the fact that the rest of the family is talking so nonchalantly about Billie Joe McAllister jumping off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Like, at one point, like, the dad just asks, like, for the black eyed peas in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, terrible thing to happen. Here, pass those peas. It just, like, really speaks to small town rural America, I think. Bobbie Gentry is one of those artists who she just had like this perfect voice. Like there's like a husky smokiness to it, but it's still really pretty. Yeah, this one is just a really well performed, really well told story that I think has aged incredibly well.
Yeah, I would agree with you when you get to like the pass the peace part or whatever. Like there is that sort of like hush hush nature of like, oh, something bad happened. Well, like let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ending gives a couple different aspects of it because it's like, oh, well, like Billy Joe jumped off it, especially to get to the line of like, and she and Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Like, was it a child or something, an unwanted child, or was it Billy Joe trying to jump off after it?
Some people speculate that they were having a love affair, a gay love affair, and that her, guilt and shame and the pressures of the town around her caused her to jump off the bridge.
Yeah. But like when you look at this from a songwriting standpoint, it's not doing too much like out of the ordinary. Like the rhyme structure is AABBCC. It's in that American folk style where it doesn't really have a chorus. It just has like those last two lines that are kind of the ending to it. And I just it's very not calm, but like the guitar and her voice are kind of like the soft parts of it, but then you have these strings that really kind of come in at the end to give it that emotion to it and whatnot. But yeah, I remember saying that this song was going to jump quite a bit, like whenever it first appeared on the list, and I imagine it's probably going to get up a little bit higher. I think 190 might be the right choice here. So.
Cody, this is another one of those songs where I feel like a lot of the general public may not know. Did you know this song, and what are your thoughts on it?
I have definitely heard parts of the song prior to this. I also took about 30 seconds to listen to her version of Fancy. Yeah, that's not her song anymore.
No, yeah, it's Reba's song. Reba does it a little better.
Yeah, correct. But overall, really good. Like, really good storytelling. I like the flow of the song. I like her voice throughout it. Like, it was... I've heard that line of like throwing her off the bridge. Like I've heard that numerous times. I don't know where, but it just plays really well. The overall, like, I guess 70s, 60s,
60s. I think it was 60s,
60s. Yeah.
You can just feel it like on the song, but it really tells. It's a really good storytelling song. So, maybe not this high for me personally, but you guys like. Yeah, it makes sense for sure, especially to get more eyes on this, because I would guarantee the general public does not know the song.
Yeah. This is one I highly recommend to anybody who wants to try to get into country music. This is like a really good starting point, I think. All right, moving on to number 161 that I know Cody loves. Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Brooklyn starts us off.
You go.
Uh-oh, he's getting the guitar out.
Yeah, you go first on this one for a second.
Okay. That guitar riff is so fucking good. Like they just slap it in reverb, but it works amazingly well. The melody that Norman Greenbaum has, just like going up to the spirit in the sky. There's like a laid back ease to it, which really helps carry the entirety of the song. The background singers, though, add so much texture to this. There is so much soul that gets infused into it. It's just like a really cool song.
Yeah. What I was gonna bring it up in the guitar is just like literally the. Like it's the same three chords, but they're just swapped at the end of the line, and I think that's just what makes it so cool. Like it's kind of that blues style, but it doesn't really fit like the same blues structure where it goes like through to the fifth and then the seventh and then back to the fifth. But like you said, like especially Like you get to like the "I got a friend in Jesus" part, like where it's just like that. You're almost like there's a sarcasm to it, or almost like a tongue in cheek kind of feel into it. And like especially when you get into like when I die, they're gonna lay me to rest. I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. And then you get this like this unwinding kind of guitar, which is really the only other song that you kind of get that same sound might be in like For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield, which I think is kind of they're from the same time frame, like 60s, kind of like easy listening rock. But yeah, there's a reason that James Gunn used it in the first Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, because it kind of fit the sound that he was going for, especially with what Peter Quill would have been listening to at the time. Yeah, it's a song that can't be killed by the radio. You could throw this on every day, and I think you're gonna have the same feeling to it.
Cody, I mean, we kind of know your thoughts on this one already, but go ahead.
I mean, it's from it's also in one of the greatest football movies of all time. It's in Remember the Titans. It is just an absolute banger of a song. I love just the beat of it, like just as it goes and as it keeps like grooving. It's so good. I like the lyrics a part of it, regardless if you're like spiritual or not, like going up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm going to go when I'm dying. And then, like, it's just so good. Like, it's, again, if you're sitting in a room and this song comes up and you're just blank stared, you're probably a serial killer, I'm going to be honest with you, or a person I just don't trust. So, doesn't call their parents on holidays, or like doesn't like double dips chips, like, you know, after you bit into it, you put it right back in it. These are people I just think need to be put in jail. So, yeah.
I need a list or like a small pamphlet.
Brings bad dips like Super Bowl parties. Like, what?
Yeah,
you know, that person.
I don't want a chili pepper artichoke banana dip.
Oh, what the
out of here?
Banana dip? What? You can't just throw words together.
Oh, I brought this tuna fish sliders, like were they add a ham and cheese? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like,
that wouldn't be too far off from like a tuna melt, though. But like that's
if you bring a tuna melt to a Super Bowl party, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be watching in the garage, because I ain't smelling your butt the entire Super Bowl party. Tuna melt. This man says tuna melt like it's normal. Bring the whitefish, everybody. Where's the whitefish sandwich? You got your salmon lox?
I brought some tilapia bites. Anyone want tilapia bites?
Oh, get out of here.
All right, let's move on. Number 100 to 159. Every Breath You Take by The Police.
Yeah.
Another one of the biggest gaps on our lists. 361 song difference here. God, that guitar. That guitar, that looping guitar is just so fucking good. It's just so pleasant. It's almost like lullaby-esque. And Sting's vocals on here, they're not like quite Fields of Gold level Sting vocals, but there's still like a warmth to them, which is weird because like lyrically it's kind of like dark and creepy. But I think that's the juxtaposition that makes it work so well. And then you get into the bridge where it's more belty, and you get that one little piano key that just keeps playing behind him. But yeah, man, the tension in the song is really, really what elevates it to the level that it's at. I didn't think I was going to have it this high. I thought, like, when first making this list, I thought this would be in like maybe the 150s. But it just kept slowly creeping up my list until it made my top 100. So, Brooklyn?
Yeah, this is like that riff is always put in the guitar riffs that you think are easy but are not. Like, it's like just how far he's like stretching his fingers on that riff. And you're right, it is that lullaby kind of feel, because it has like it has the root note at like the start of the like on the 1 pretty well, and then you get like the little melodies on like the 2, 3, 4, and then it always goes back to the root note. So it has they can understand why you would go that route. For me, I think it is that bridge. Like when they're throwing in that keys, it kind of it stamps it as an 80s song. Like it screams that like Tears for Fears kind of sound.
Okay.
And I'm just a believer that like that Police hit it out of the park with their first album and that sound in particular. Alanis Amore is a fucking incredible album, but yeah, like the music video for this is fucking incredible. And like we were talking about breakups, this is the creepy way to kind of do it. Every breath you take, every move you make, every smile you fake, like I'll be watching you. And it's just like it's that desire to like it's a desire to follow and just to like, hey, I need to like make sure that like we're on the same path, or like one person is not doing like as good as the other.
Real quick, speaking of the music video, I've always found it so funny that Sting is playing an upright bass in that music video, even though the bass in this actual song is clearly not an upright bass. Cody. Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe he's playing an upright bass when it's not. That's great.
I know. Unprecedented.
That's ridiculous. So dumb. Okay, anyways. Also, just want everybody to I want to give Andrew his flowers. His Philadelphia Phillies are playing the current Atlanta Braves right now, and he's on a show doing this. If the Red Sox were in the situation, I would tell you both where they're sticking. And Brooklyn doesn't know because his team can't win playoff games. Anyways,
MLB doesn't exist right now. We're on to the Giants tanking for number one pick, and then UFC in 2 weeks. Some pretty big card.
Which that card got even better. Okay. Thank you for cuts and injuries. Okay. Anyways, so this song is very 80s, but very cheesy. But listen. If I'm going to a party and there's a cheese platter, I ain't mad. I'm enjoying that cheese. I'm enjoying it as it is. It does,
like a nice
Brooklyn,
poutine.
I get what you're saying, but when you put the context out there that it's creepy when he says those lyrics, that's when we have a problem. Let's just not make it creepy. Let's just like, oh, that's endearing. That's sweet. In the 80s, it was probably endearing. In 2023, it's probably a restraining order. So don't sing this to people because you most likely will be put on a watch list. But it's a lot of fun. I don't know if 89, that's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, like, Sting just does something for you to be 89. But I do believe it belongs on the list, and I do believe it belongs in the 200s probably. But 150.
I feel like this song definitely got like the U2 1 treatment, where people played it as their first song for a wedding dance, and it was like, oh, you need to figure out what the song's about.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost I forgot Fields of Gold by Sting exists. That may have gotten on my list overall if I had remembered that one. That one's beautiful. Check that out. Speaking of which, moving on to number 158, No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley and the Wailers. This one was pretty close for us. Brooklyn had it lower, though, so he will start.
A word that we use quite a bit of, and I don't think we haven't used yet. I love the dichotomy of the keys and the guitar in this, because the keys start, and it starts off as like this very kind of like almost similar to like a whiter shade of pale, like a very slow kind of tempo, but then you get that nice like scratchy kind of like the reggae sound of the guitar, and it brings it right back up into that Bob Marley style. That's all I got to say about it, really.
This is a beautiful song about camaraderie and brotherhood. Just like trying to help your friend out of tough times, and it's just it's very comforting. It's a very, very comforting song. I've said it before. I think Bob Marley is a genius, like straight through and through. He was just a genius. But the thing about his voice that is so natural and so honest that pushes his voice above other singers is just like the comfort. there's such a comfort in his voice, and it's so beautiful to listen to. And especially when you pair that with what the song's about, yeah, it's hard to not love this song. Uh, Cody, you seem like a big reggae person to me. What are your thoughts on this song?
Do I give off the reggae vibe?
Sure do.
I do like steel drums. You know, I like the fun stuff. Like, but I am not a reggae fan. I have said this lyric, no woman, no cry, like numerous times. But I don't know if this is a song like I've ever like actively like pursued out personally. Like, if it's on, I'm never gonna change it. If it's, I think there's another Bob Marley song that I'm probably more like I know more and I sing more personally.
I think I know what one it is, and if I'm
Yeah.
correct, not on our list.
Interesting. But overall, I think I think he's a brilliant like performer. Like, there's no question about that. So I cannot say it doesn't deserve a list. I think it does, but not in my personal bank.
All right. Let's move on to something with a little bit more punch behind it. Number 157, "Bring the Noise" by Public Enemy. Another one that's relatively close for us. Brooklyn, you do have it lower, though.
Yeah. So I think it's I'm trying to find one verse in particular, and I actually before that, there's another song we're talking about a little bit later. I think it's a perfect kind of one-two punch. And I just love. Oh my God, Chuck D. Yeah, Chuck D. His delivery on it, I think, is incredible. It's kind of what brings Public Enemy to the forefront, especially when you have Flavor Flav basically as the hype man. But there's a verse, I think it's "Now they got me in a cell because my record." Yeah, "Now they got me in a cell because my records they sell." And a bit of music theory. This is in a 4/4 song. So what that means is that like a quarter note gets the beat, and there's 4 beats in the song. And that verse in particular, what they're doing is that they're doing triplets. So how that's written on like a sheet of music or whatever is like you'd have the 3 notes and then there's like a bar over top of it and it's 3 because it sounds a little bit different from everything else. And you gotta get that sense where he's like, I think I've described it before as like they're almost like rolling over the beat, but it's such an effective way to get basically like 12 beats in a bar, and it just kind of stands out from everything else as opposed to like the trends of the time where instead of it being like let's get in more beats, let's slow it down, have a pause, and then kind of come into it. I think that's a really cool way to kind of break up the song a little bit, but the beatness is great because you could almost consider this like a dance song, but it still fits that Public Enemy kind of style. Yeah, I think this has been an overlooked song from Public Enemy. I think everybody kind of goes to fight the power. Yeah, this should be one that's more talked
about. I love the production on this. The production on this is kind of amazing how well it works. Like those sirens and those horns should be like the dissonance in this beat should not work as well as it does, but it's such a unique sonic landscape of a beat. Which a beat is for Yoko Ono, a beat is for Sonny Bono. And Chuck D fucking kills it. The one flow he has in the second verse of like soul on a roll, but you treat it like soap on a rope because the beats and the lines are so dope. Like that moment is just like one of the best flows in hip hop history, in my opinion. Yeah, just like the way that this song goes fucking hard is so great. And I love the shout out to Run DMC where he says that Run DMC first said that a DJ could be a band, stand it on its feet and get you out of your seat. It's just such a dope ass song. Like, I don't understand how you don't at least really appreciate how hard this song goes. But Cody, what are your thoughts on this?
This is like a perfect like pump up song. Like Bring the Noise. Like, this is just like again, it's one of those songs that you just have so much fun listening to. it just has everything you want in like one of these songs. Like it's in the title, Bring the Noise. Like when it just keeps building as the song goes. The lyrics are really good. It plays really well. I can't say I've actively like pursued Bring the Noise all the time because I don't need to be personally pumped up a lot. But kind of wish that you listened to this like during football and stuff. Like it works really well. So yeah, great choice. Probably right on your guys' wavelength. Like it should have been in that rate, but it works.
All right. Let's move on to another huge gap on the list. Actually, the same exact length of Every Breath You Take. Blue Monday by New Order. I'm going to start us off with this one. Oh my God, this is one of the best electronica club, like new wave songs of all time. Just the way that it starts, it's one of the greatest builds to a song ever. It's just it's so good. Just that pounding drum pad. And then you suddenly get din, 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 like the way that this song builds and builds and builds and builds. It's like 2 minutes, 30 seconds of build. And then you get into the vocals. And it's like this haunting, echoey, ghost-like effect on his voice. And it just creates this amazing layer, like this almost like lasagna of tension. But I know that was a weird metaphor, but you know what I meant by that.
Lasagna of tension.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, just the way that this song is layered and performed, and just like it holds you in its atmosphere and its tone and its mood. It for as long as this song is, and it's like almost like 8 minutes long.
7.5 minutes.
7.5 minutes. It flies by, but you're still entranced by it the entire time. This is a marvel of new wave.
Marvel is I'm not 100% sure on that. What my argument to that is that it's stealing a lot of things. One thing in particular from disco, and that's the bass line, and how it's just staying on the octave, and like that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's one of the things one of the things that I like about it.
Though.
Yeah, I think the thing when I hear the song, in the movie Yes Man, when Jim Carrey goes to meet Zooey Deschanel, and like Zooey Deschanel is like in that band or whatever, like that band sounds the exact same as this. Like, obviously has a ton of influence to it and whatnot. I think it balances the line of using like the right amount of synth. But for me, I think why I have it at 4:45 is that it's just like it falls into that realm of 80 songs where it's like, I appreciate you, I like what you're doing, but I haven't found like this needs to be above like the 250 mark.
Your distaste for 80s music confuses me sometimes. Cody, let's go to you.
This song sucks. I'm being honest with you. Like it just does.
Are you surprised, Andrew?
No, I'm not, but I'm more disappointed than anything
Like
else.
if they speed it up, like I'm pretty sure like the Jersey Shore fist bump to the beginning of this song, like yeah, t-shirt time, yeah, big time, yeah. No, I was bored the entire time. It's long, it's repetitive, it builds, but not in a good way. Like, and then when it builds to its climax, it doesn't pay off. So,
I swear.
Yeah,
to God,
big time, yeah, man.
Swear to God.
What?
I said, I swear to God, if there's a veto coming in here, I'm gonna be.
Oh
so
no!
mad.
If you guys start talking about it, I don't veto it.
Okay.
I veto before you guys are able to talk. But here's the thing. I would rather listen to Snooki and The Situation talk for 6.5 minutes than listen to the song.
No,
Yeah,
I still have some control on this show. Cody's gonna sit back there.
Mr. Producer Man has control on the show. We have no control. Mr. Rap Cigar. Oh, okay. Well, Let's talk about music theory for nope. Okay, we're back.
What's your opinions of like an F sharp and a B flat?
I had a guy tell me at work the other day that F sharp minor was his favorite chord to end on. But it's funny that you mentioned those because they are in the same.
Okay.
In the same both chords used in the great Hotel California song.
Trey Turner hit a home run. It is 2-1 in the bottom of the fifth. They just took the lead.
Let's fucking go. Rolling in the Deep at number 155 on our combined list.
By the way, this song will end this list. I'm using one of my reorders, just to let you know.
Okay.
Well, okay. Do you want me to save it
No,
until...
we can talk about it now. That's fine. As long as it's at the end.
Okay. So, Brooklyn's going to go first.
Just the build that this song fucking has. It starts off with that one guitar riff. And it keeps that riff throughout it, and then you get these big like booming drums coming in on like the see how I see with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. I think it's a great like admittedly kind of like haunting line. Because like especially getting into the chorus, like you could have had it all. Rolling with the Deep, and just like the potential that was there. And like it's just like the piano in this is great, and like the kind of like the bridge and how it rolls off, and then you get to like that like kind of like the boom clap moment of like roll your soul through every open door, count your blessings to find what you look for. And like the kind of the gospel elements that she takes, because like Adele's voice like naturally just kind of fits that through all of her songs, whether it's like Chasing Pavements or it's like Hello. But I think also what puts it at 104 is when this came on the radio, because this was her first like her big like breakout single. Like before this, she had Chasing Pavements, which was like okay. It didn't do as well in this, but this like just kind of soared her over the top. Really, Chasing Pavements is better.
I love Chasing Pavements so much.
It is a great song. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that Chasing Pavements should have done better in like the popular.
Oh, it should have. Yeah, like it's crazy that like you think about that song, and like it'd be cool to go back in a time machine to be like, oh, this person would go on to become like the greatest vocalist of her generation.
So this is one of those songs where I do. Let me start by saying, and I think I said this the last time we talked about this song. I remember when this song first came out, and I was already like an Adele fan. And then I heard this, and I immediately told everybody, "Yo, this song right here, this song's gonna be fucking huge." And it's the one time I ever got that correct. So, but this is one of those songs where like I really love it and I appreciate it, and I don't know why I don't love it more enough to put it higher on my list. But there are three elements to this song that really, really send this into orbit. One is Adele, because duh. Two is the percussion. The percussion on this song is incredible. And three, it's those backing vocals. Like those backing vocals that are like supporting her and like adding this like extra element to this. Yeah, it's an incredible piece for one of the best vocal talents of the 21st century. Cody?
So there's no secret. Adele's my favorite female singer of all time, probably. Yeah.
Really? Over Whitney?
Yeah. Over Whitney. I couldn't agree. There's multiple like choices that you guys have brought up. Like, I feel like her cover of "Make You Feel My Love" is like my favorite version of that song.
It's
Chasing
the
Pavements
definitive version.
I feel bad like for like Adele, especially with her last album. I felt like they expected like fire and brimstone, like what she's able to, because she doesn't like. She's very methodical with what she releases. Like, she doesn't just do an album a year. She takes her time. She builds it out. She's honestly an artist that has went through so much, like, heartbreak and, like, stuff. So it's kind of crazy what she's able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling in the Deep, like, this album alone is, like, up there is one of my favorite albums of all time. I think she's just absolutely brilliant. Rolling in the Deep, I get it gets the credit because it's probably the most iconic. I think there are better songs from it. Like personally, I love Chasing Pavements. I think Chasing Pavements is absolutely brilliant. Um, but Rolling in the Deep is like something I remember when I heard it the first time. I don't remember hearing a song like this before. Like when it happened, it's like a woman that says like, "Listen, I'll lay your shit bare. Like don't fuck with me," basically. Like, and with that beat power, like going into it, it's just like you could have had it all. But it's just, I think her vocals are unmatched. Like, I think there are, like, you can argue that semantic argument forever who's the best vocalist, but her voice for me and with songs, I think, like, and it's weird, like, how some of her songs become so popular. Like Hello, I like Hello. It's a fine song, but that thing got hammered
I
into the
agree.
ground when that album has so many better songs on it than Hello. Um,
Oh God, what's the name
uh,
of that one song? When We Were Young, or something
oh,
like that.
When We Were
Oh my
Young is
God.
like
Arguably,
insane.
it's like this and that are like her two best songs in my opinion.
Yeah, she's absolutely incredible. I think what the difference is, she has that ability with songs that I could build a list of like multiple songs of hers to choose that. So Adele, all the way, great choice. I'm really surprised, honestly, because Brooklyn said some scandalous shit about Adele like a couple episodes ago about like I think he threw some shade, but then he had it at 104. So respect to Brooklyn on this one because you're on drugs. Brooklyn is correct, 100%. 104.
I kind of figured.
One last thing to say: Glee does an incredible cover of this. Like
Okay.
they do a very bare bones cover of it.
Yeah.
And they nail it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Glee has good moments.
Yeah.
They had good moments, and then they got to season 3, and then
Correct.
yeah, we'll talk about that. We can talk about that later.
I'd rather
All
take
right.
a slushy to the face than watch.
All right, moving on to 154, Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Technically, isn't this 155 now?
It will be, yes.
It will be, yeah.
I just want that on the record.
But yeah, if you've ever watched School of Rock, you'll know what moment I'm talking about. Whenever Jack Black throws it on, and then Joan Cusack fucking loses her mind because Stevie Nicks is like the best part of Fleetwood Mac. And just like from the opening lyric, like just like the White Winged Dove sings the song and now like she's singing, and it just like how she plays along with the backing vocals and whatnot. I think the piano is used very effectively in it as well. And then you get to that like slowed down part of the bridge, especially when you get like that slow down like on the edge of 717, and then it just stays right on that guitar riff, and it's literally just holding the one note, and a note that was used so well that Destiny's Child would later use it for Bootylicious. Like that's how effective it is on staying catchy and whatnot. But I just think it has the good elements of 80s stuff, especially when it gets into the chorus. Because they're using that piano as kind of like a counter melody, and then you have like the call and answer stuff, the echo, I guess, like she's repeating like the White Winged Dove part. But yeah, Stevie's just an incredible vocalist. I think she's in like the top 5 conversation for me. She wouldn't surpass like your Aretha Franklin's, Whitney Houston's. I think Adele is in that. I think is in that range. It'd be a toss up for her for me, but yeah. When you think of people leaving a band to do their own stuff, this is top tier.
Yeah, that guitar line is doing that power chord, I should say, is doing a lot of heavy lifting. But I'm not saying that in a way where I'm like disrespecting anything else around it. But that thing is just like that's the anchor of the song. And Stevie Nicks is just like singing her fucking heart out on this one. Like her raspiness is just so perfect with this style and this production and that melody. That chorus is just an all-timer. It's right up there. But it's the power and the intensity behind the song that just I think really, really make it stand out. Cody, what do you think of Edge of 17? Because I know your thoughts on like Stevie Nicks era Fleetwood Mac in general. So what about her as a solo artist?
Oh, absolutely incredible. I'm with Brooklyn. She's definitely in that camp of like female vocalist. I also love a good Joan Cusack singing this to Jack Black in School of Rock. Great thing. Ooh, ooh. Overall, fantastic song. Again, I credit a lot to Brooklyn with Fleetwood Mac, but like overall, like Stevie Nicks is like that voice is so iconic. Like, she's just so good. Like, and it's almost seems effortless. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It like because if you heard her talk and heard her sing, they're very similar like voices. So it's like it just seems like she's having a conversation like with notes. It's nuts.
It's the
so
kind of
good.
voice you hear and go, "Why not me?"
Yeah, like it's got like that grunge to it a little bit, like that she does like she smokes a couple marbles a day, but like
No, it's
It just
from all
works
it's from
so
all the
well.
fucking coke that she did.
that's probably true too. But like
I thought it was Andrew, or no, maybe it was somebody at work that was telling me they want, like, on Rumors itself, they wanted to thank their coke dealer on it, but they had to take it off. Like, that's how ingrained they were into the system.
yeah,
I could have
It's
sworn
great
it was
choice.
Andrew telling me. Maybe it was somebody
No,
else.
that was not me. That was not
And-
me.
I always find it's funny. You guys may be way different than me because like of how much you guys are like into music and stuff. But I find it so fascinating. Like when you see a title of the thing, you're like, I don't know what the fucking song is this at all. But then as soon as it plays, it's like, you know exactly what that is. I never can figure out titles to songs whatsoever. But as soon as this play, I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, we're
You
on.
literally have to
So-
hear just the first 2 seconds of just chugga, 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 chugga. Yeah.
as soon as it was like, oh, we're good. Like, I thought, oh god, what's this new song I'm gonna have to learn? Nope, knew it instantly.
All right, so we're gonna move on to what's I believe going to be 154 now.
I'm really surprised, by the way, but that song is a little bit like lower on your guys' list than I would thought because I would think like that song over could like pass like the Police version of like stuff. So personally, but
Speaking of the
Okay.
Police, Roxanne by the Police, Brooklyn.
This song is like Nate Diaz. It almost got memed to death, like it almost got overplayed, but it came right back. I was talking about it earlier. If there's two albums that you could listen to after the show, Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC, and then go listen to Outlandos to More. I think this is the third track on it. I think it goes Next to You, So Lonely, and then this. But similar to how we were talking about, like, Every Breath You Take is for Alex Summers, you're listening to this song for Stuart Copeland and how technically precise he is in the song, how he's matching up with Sting on the bass line and also with Alex on the guitar lick. But I just think like the emotion that Sting is putting into the lyrics, especially when you get into that second verse, like ever since I love you since I knew you, I wouldn't talk down to you. I have to tell you just how I feel. I won't share you with another boy. And it's like it's a hooker that he's talking about. So it's like it's him like blindly falling in love with this person of like, oh, I had this experience with you. You don't need to be with anybody else. Like you can just be with me. Like that's how ingrained he is into it. But then you just get into like the chorus in this is so great. The call and answer of them, like Roxanne, how they hold it, and then you get that nice kind of falsetto, and then it just cuts right back down. And like the Police have shown how well they're able to do tension. I talked about the song to death, which like, and you probably all heard it a million times, but like just go listen to it again in its own sense, because it's a great song that can't be killed.
Roxanne. Yeah, no. I you know what? I 100% agree with you, but when you say that Stuart Copeland's drums on this are incredible. That's kind of what I realized the last time I listened to it. The other thing I love about this song is like how perfectly timed their rests are. like those little pauses like add so much like dramatic buildup and tension. It's so perfect. Yeah, it's just a great song. One of the Police's best, easily. Cody.
Brooklyn may not like this one, but I like Every Breath You Take better than this song.
I can
overall.
see that. Yeah.
But I do like Roxanne. I think Roxanne is a very strong song. I think it's definitely like it's way less cheesy than its counterparts. But no, I really enjoy the song. I must have missed the memes personally.
Well, Community in particular, and like even Andrew referenced it, like just how often it's used in that song.
Yeah, that's true.
That
I will. Yeah, I will say that. But yeah, great overall. Great song overall. I think it's crazy 2 Police songs show up this, but Andrew, there is like 100 and I don't know, like just 30 whatever spots between this one and Every Breath You Take. So you know how he feels.
Yep. All right, let's move on to what I'm going to assume is 153 because we still haven't decided on where Rolling in the Deep is right now.
That's number 1. It's the end of this.
Okay, and we're cheating a little bit with this next one. The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron. Brooklyn, you actually have it higher than I do, which surprised me a little bit. So you go first.
Veto.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Hold on. Let me get the. Nope, that's not.
I thought this was not on. I thought you said this one isn't on this week's.
It's a different song.
No. International.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, this song's gone.
Damn it.
Not a fan.
Can I say what I like about the song right quick? If there's one person we got to shout out on this, Hubert Laws doing the flute on this. He's just going a mile a fucking minute, and this is the one song that made me wish that I was an American so that I can get all the in jokes that he's doing in his delivery, because it's a very like smug way of saying, hey, the revolution is going to be fucking ugly. Like, it's not going to be like pristine and clear cut. Like, you're going to have to get your hands.
There will not be shots of Jackie Onassis wiping her nose.
Yes, yeah.
And I'll just say real quick, this is a great protest song. It's powerful. It's got precision. It's very populist. And the one line that he repeats over like more than like twice in a row is there will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. Like, just really driving that point home. But Cody, what are you replacing this with?
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
I like this though.
My friends, I'll say it clear. It's My Way, Frank Sinatra. I believe this is arguably one of the best songs ever made. I love it. I understand like the whole Rat Pack era and like that frames of the crooners and like those people got like famous for their shtick and not like for pure talent. But I think his talent shows in this song above other songs. My Way, honestly, and I think like if I could pick like a version, it's like near the end of his life when he sings My Way, because you can actually feel like the heartache, like it's coming to an end, like the curtains closing, like he loved performing so much, and this is why My Way like ranks so high for me. And I just love like I think it's just a beautiful song. I think it shows morality. I think it like talks about like when those curtains finally are done, like at least he went out with his. He took all the blows, but he did it his way. I think it's a beautiful song. So Barr told me this was on someone's list, but didn't make it on the list because it wasn't high enough. So I'm glad to rectify this and put this on the list.
I'm trying to find where I had it on my list. Because I am the one who had this on their list. It was definitely in the 400s. I know that. But yeah, as much as I do think that The Revolution Will Not Be Televised is better than this, I do love My Way. I had it at 415. It is it's one of those songs where the delivery of the lyrics is the biggest strength of this. Sinatra just has such gusto towards the end of it, like especially when he's like really using his chest towards the end. There's a reason it's a karaoke staple. There's a reason like you always hear that one person doing it, and every time they do it, everyone's like, "Let's go!" So I'm happy to see it on the list, even though I do like the other song a little bit better. Brooklyn, any thoughts on this before we move on?
Quick things. One, if I had to pick a Frank Sinatra song, I think it'd be New York, New York. I like the kind of like the lounge feel of it.
You say that because the Yankees use it.
Yeah. Second of all,
2018 when we played it after we beat their asses, it was great.
Rat Pack definitely got like pushed down for a while because there was a slot machine at work. And I think it was like the main riff from Ain't That a Kick in the Head from Dean Martin that played every time that the bonus hit. So that's just ingrained in my head, and it was like, we need to get this away. But
did you say kick you in the head?
Yeah. But if we're talking like great Frank Sinatra songs, one that I do want to highlight, and I think Kirk was the one that showed it to me. The Frank's version of "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear" is like one of the best Christmas songs ever. It's one that I have in my regular mix. But yeah, he's a good vocalist, but I don't have the appreciation that others do.
All right.
I could have put an Elvis song on the list though.
What about that?
He loves Elvis, so I could have picked an Elvis song.
Oh. All right. Moving on to the last song that we're going to talk about. Now at 152, Night Moves by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
What a great 1-2-3 punch right now at the end of the song. I am in love.
Yeah. This is one of those ones where this is just like, if you hear this like on a clear, starry night where like the moon is just like perfect and you're just like, you're driving home and you're passing like through like small towns and just like rural areas. It's just the perfect mood setter. That guitar line is just it's not, correct me if I'm wrong, Brooklyn. It's kind of simple. But it's so effective. And Bob Seger, man, he's just one of those guys who, when he hits it, he fucking crushes it out of the park when it comes to his vocals. Like, that dude could sing. Yeah, this is just one of those ones where, like, I have a hard time talking about it because it's just such it feels so personal.
Yeah, I think what a lot of I don't think it's Bob Seger that's doing like all the heavy lifting here. I think it's the backing vocals and like the band itself. Like I think the piano adds a nice little kind of flair to it. And then especially like that bridge when they slow it down and it's like I woke last night to the sound of thunder. How far off I sat and wondered. Started humming a song from 1962. Ain't it funny how the night moves? And then they just like they go right back into that chord progression, like do 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 do, and then you get the piano right back in. And they go right back to where they were. And the little the night moves. I just think it has like that kind of sway where kind of like. You're right, Andrew, where it has that like sitting on a car kind of like in the middle of the night. But you could also be like, this could be like the perfect song to kind of end the night at a bar.
Yeah. Cody, what are your thoughts on this one? I know we've talked about it before.
Yeah, this I think was on one of my episodes.
It was.
For the
and I think you chose it as the best song of that episode.
Yeah, it's like, I think I even said it at the time, so I won't go into long depth about it again, but it's like, it's your dad's favorite singer. Like, he has that, but it's one that dad gets right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, this guy can do it. And you're like, okay, Dad, this guy can do it. You're right, Dad. Like, this is the correct one. Like, even like, I hate like old time rock and roll gets such a bad rap because it's like overplayed from his version and stuff like that. It's still
Yeah.
so good. His vocals elevate every song. It's a lot like Meatloaf for me. Like Meatloaf's voice, like I don't care if the song was like okay at best, it just still works so well for me. And Night Moves, it's so soul like he just feels like he's been through some shit and
Yeah.
he's portraying it like every word he delivers has some sort of feeling and some sort of emotion about it that just
It's so
makes
lived in.
yeah, it's something that just doesn't make any sense to me. But this song is like such. He doesn't. I'm so dumb with songs. He does another song. I can't think of it. That I'm just like. It's one of those also that
Against the Wind. Old
Against
Time
the
Rock and
Wind. I think
Roll.
is it. I think it's Against the Wind. But it's another one that just feels so much like soul. So
I do want to say.
Turn the Page. Like turn
Yeah,
the
Turn the
like.
Page.
He's just crazy. He's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he truly like as a vocalist. I just don't think. I think he fits into that dad rock era that you're like, yeah, your dad likes this, but no one else does. But if more people give him a chance now, brilliant. He's brilliant.
So I'm gonna spoil. I'm gonna play like a little spoiler. Turn the Page is not gonna be on this.
Okay.
And if I could go back in time and put it on my list, it absolutely would have been on my list.
You technically can because don't you have a veto? Interesting.
Uh,
Let's put him in. Let's put him on his back foot. Let's make him pick it.
I do. There's one other song. Brooklyn can attest to this. I was like, these are the three songs that I would use if I use my veto, and that was one of them. There's one song that beat it out though.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
no, but great choices. 165, I kind of agree with. I think it deserves. I think it's one of those songs that deserves both lists for sure.
All right. So, with that being said, let's just real quickly go over what we've gone through today. 170 is Mr. Brightside by The Killers. 169, It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. 168, A Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum. Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs at 167. I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor at 166. Number 165, we have No Scrubs by TLC. 164, we were able to sneak in Rock Lobster by the B-52s. Number 163, Mama Tried by Merle Haggard. Number 162, I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. 161, Ode to Billy Joe by Bobby Gentry. Spirit in the Sky by Norma Greenbaum coming in at number 160. Every Breath You Take by The Police at 159. No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley and the Wailers at 158. At 157, we have Bring the Noise by Public Enemy. 156 is Blue Monday by New Order. 155 is Rolling in the Deep by Adele. Then at number 155, Oh, that's why. Yeah, never mind that last one. 155 is Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Then at 154, we have Roxanne. 153, a new addition to the list. It's My Way by Frank Sinatra. 152 is Night Moves by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. And 151 is Rolling in the Deep by Adele. So Cody has 4 vetoes left and 3 switcheroos. And I'm going to send in our group chat the playlist for the next episode. Cody, take a look at that. Give us some of your first thoughts.
I will say this is probably. Oh, I just see a song on this song. I am so excited. This is probably the best week that I've had on the show of songs. Oh yeah. Okay, there are some that is maybe not familiar. Or maybe new film stuff that
there's
I would
one
enjoy.
that I think that you know, even though you don't recognize
it.
Yeah.
I don't want to tip anything, but Gun to Head, probably my favorite song of all time, is next week.
Oh, man. Really?
I arguably believe
I-
it's my favorite song of all time. It has nostalgia through it, and it has like stayed with me all this time. I brought it up before. I brought it up to Andrew Azevedo, but
Yeah.
I was told I was on the list, so I think
Mm.
that
I,
is
I believe I know what song it is. I'm gonna guess it after.
fair. Oh, but this list, there are some I don't know, so we'll see. But this list is fire. That top song that shows up on Spotify, I can't wait to talk about. I love that song, but that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that behind the scenes. But as for everyone watching, thank you all for watching so much. Thank you all for watching Off Our Stone subsidiary, 500 Stone subsidiary of the video store. And by the way, I forgot to mention, buy our shit. Thank you for Cody for joining us. Brooklyn, thank you as always for being an incredible guest host. And so for Cody, for Brooklyn, and for myself, Andrew Barr, keep on rocking.
Drive safe.